So tell us, what made you who you are? How did you get to this point? What's your background?
You know, a big thing I would say, Yinka, yeah, is parenting. Parenting, and my parents divorced when I was 11 years old. I had that decision I had to make. My mom came up to me and said, "So, son, you know, it's not working out. We're divorcing. Who do you want to live with?"
Wow.
Yeah,
That's quite
you know, my mom's always been. She's a businesswoman. You know, she's always been direct, and it's funny because at the time, I never thought about how it must have made her feel with my response. You know, I was just thinking about me, like, man, okay, I gotta choose correctly, man. Who's it gonna be? And you know, I remember saying to my mom, we lived in
You think
East
that was
London.
a fair thing to do to make you make that choice?
I think so. I think so. I think in a sly sort of way, my mom knew who I would pick.
Right.
You know, but I think she wanted to make me feel like I had the choice. She wanted to make me know that it was all right with her. Like, go on, go with it.
Okay.
And you know, she didn't give me a look and a wink while I was asking me who do you want to be with. My dad was always my hero. You know, he used to take me to work. I used to walk around with him. So I think she already knew. You know, but yeah, you know, I think when we even talk about fairness in life, it's so relative, man. What's fair? What's
I
not?
know, I get it. But my reason I asked that question is because I think when you're at that age, maybe it's easier for the decision to be made for you. Because
Yeah.
I think making that decision, like you said, kind of put the responsibility
On me.
on you.
Yeah. And you know, and I mean, when she asked me, she was looking right at me like,
Decide.
Yeah, this isn't like come back to me next week.
Yeah.
It was like, tell me now.
Yeah.
And you know, I chose my dad. And you know, I'm a big believer of boys growing. You know, if I were to advise broken homes, Yinka, yeah, I would say the role of a man or as a dad, I think, especially for sons, is integral from like the year 9, 10 and up. I feel like that's the age where they need dads.
Yeah.
I think young boys, if you've just got mumsy around or, you know, mum's looking after you more time, you just need love. And that's where the, you know, mums and sons, that bond is crazy. So I believe that's where, as a dad, even if, you know, you're not around, that's where you even see mums do it. Like, listen, go and stay with your dad now.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, at that age. I think with daughters it's different. And I have 2 girls. And I think it's important to be, I think with girls, you just need to be there the whole time, I believe. That's just, you know, my mindset. But, you know, that really shaped me, bro. And we lived in, it was Chingford. So we was opposite Chingford Hall Estate. You know, so we had all the man them that lived in the estate. So, you know, like Morfire crew, Nico.
Yes.
He lived in the estate. He was a young'un then. We knew him by a different name, you know what I mean? And he used to just hold me up in that. So I was so happy to see him blow. But I used to have all the friends from the estate come and knock on our door. We lived in a white neighborhood, if you like, of Chingford. But when my parents separated, you know, the money went. And me and my dad moved to the 20th floor of a tower building, you know, and that was a culture shock, you know. So that was a lot in shaping me. And my mum and dad, you know, but my dad more so were very instrumental in getting me into a school called John Loughborough School. So this was a private school, and I've been teased about it a lot, but I will say schooling really shapes you. You know, this was a West Indian school. The head teacher, the deputy head teacher, all of the teachers were West Indian, mainly Jamaican. And not a lot of them didn't grow up here. A lot of them were fresh from yard that come over. Strong accents, you know. I remember as a young African kid, I used to be like, not understand what they were saying. You know, and I'll say it in the class and they would laugh just like you're laughing, thinking I'm taking a mick. Because I always had a jovial side to me. I'm like, no. I seriously
don't understand.
I don't understand what he's saying. And, you know, it was a private school, so they had, you know, corporal punishment was normal. Like they could bring out the meter ruler stick or the table tennis and they would beat you. But a lot of what I learned from a young age was from that school. You know, Black history, that was big. I learned about Arawaks, Caribs, Marcus Garvey. You know, they taught us a lot. The way I write, drawing, handwriting, these were things that were principled that you must do it this way. And I think it was great. All the students were black, you know. So it was like I was going to school back home, and they taught like it was back home.
Yeah.
You know, so that was quite shapely. And it again, when you know, I think after a few years, my dad couldn't afford the private tuition fees anymore. So I left and went to a school called Tom Hood. You know, that was in the bits, Leytonstone. I think it's called Buxton School now. They had to change the name. I mean,
Tom Hood.
Yeah, you can't have the word hood in a school name. That's
It's
in the hood. Jesus, man. So, you know, that was also an eye-opener and taught me different things. Yeah, but I would say those are the key things that sort of shaped me. I think parenting is very big. The type of school you go to and the education you get, very big, you know. And I suppose there was some spirituality coming from my mum's side. She would take us to church every Sunday, you know. So even though I live with my dad, that was mainly the time when I would get to see my mum. But I didn't have the conventional grow up, man, where people grew up with their mums.
Yeah.
I didn't. I grew up with my old man.
Yeah. I agree with you on the fact that I think boys do need their dads at that age. When they start hitting about 9, 10, they're looking for someone to copy, to emulate.
That's
so,
right.
you know, figure out how to be a man, essentially. So I think that's important. I also agree with you that it's fantastic to be around people who look like you. Yeah. I think it puts you at ease. So I think you're right about the private school.
I mean, it was funny, you know, they were like me, but they cussed the shit out of me, boy. You know, I got called with ABC, African Batty Cleaner, African this, African that. I remember going home, I was like, Dad, like, man, how did they like me?
I don't think they like me over there.
How did they like me, man? Like, and the teachers keep beating me. I don't understand the accent, you know, like it's kind of peak.
It was. You're good at doing the accent now.
Right, you know, I was able to pick that up. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think that really helps shape, and it's a key thing, man. Schooling is good, and being around like-minded. It made me tough, bro.
Yeah.
I think what helped me in that school was I was good at athletics.
Okay.
I could run. Yeah. Carl Lewis was like my you know, idol back then, you know, and I used to love the way he used to run. He was skinny, and I wasn't tall like him, but you know, he could run fast, and so I used to run and represent in the sports day. They used to split it into 3 groups, the whole school. Yeah, and even that, it was so pro-black. Even the groups were named after. I think there was King, which is obviously Martin Luther King. There was C. Cole, Mary C. Cole, and then there was another one. I can't remember the name. And yeah, when you ran for that, you represented year 1 to year 7 to 11. Right. So I got olders that were like, yes, you're that guy, innit? You can run. And then that's where I now started getting you know, a lot of love and rep then. But yeah, that shit shapes you, man.
Okay, let's talk about some deeper stuff.